Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Chuck here, and today we are going to be taking a look at how to create persistent sub goals, or really any type of goal, on your stream using Firebot. Now, there's not an easy native way to create persistent elements on your stream using Firebot. Firebot, primarily today with its effect system, is meant to show an effect and then for the effect to build out. There is a way to do this. Now, it requires some HTML, and using a little known feature of the CSS removal tool as part of the show HTML effect. If that sounds too complicated for you, don't worry. This has basically been made already. So what I did is I went ahead and I made a Firebot setup. I've posted this in the Crowbar Tools Discord. So if you're not in the Crowbar Tools Discord, go there. You can download the setup, which has a sample version of the sub overlay using one of my stream images and a basic goal. So that way you can easily see what it is, and then you can make your changes from there. You don't have to start from scratch here. I'm giving you a starter setup that you can install in Firebot. On top of this, I also have created a command as part of the Firebot setup to make it really easy for you or your moderators to be able to update your sub goal on the fly. So with that said, let's get into Firebot. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start by navigating to the settings screen. And the reason for this is that I need to first install the setup that I created. Again, if you haven't installed this setup, go to the Crowbar Tools Discord. Again, it's linked below, and install this setup. All right, so now that I have that selected, what you're gonna see is that this comes with three different things. The first is a command called sub goal. The second is a new event called sub goal. And the third is a preset effect list, you guessed it, called sub goal. So we're going to hit import setup. And now we're going to start by taking a look at our event. Now this is a Firebot started event. And what this means is that when Firebot starts, assuming that you open OBS first, it's going to do a few things. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to update the URL for the background image of your sub goal. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be an image. It could be a movie or a video file. For today's tutorial, I am using a static image. This can also be a local path, so it does not have to be a URL. But for this, I am using a URL. This is a sample image that I have hosted on my website, so that way you can just install the setup and use it and know what it looks like. You don't have to do anything extra, at least to sample this. The next is the goal amount. So this goal amount, this is sort of our starting number. So what is the starting amount of subs that you want your goal to be against? So for this, for the purposes of this, I have it set to 10, but you can set this number to whatever your default number is for your stream. Next, I have my total subs. And what we're doing here is we're creating a variable called total subs that we're actually going to use later when we go to actually add subs when they happen. So I'm just going to take this, copy it, because we're going to need that in a second. The last bit here is we're going to run our effect list. And what this is going to do is as soon as Firebot starts, it is going to run our preset effect list called sub goal. Now this has two big pieces to it. One called a cleanup overlay show HTML effect, and then the other one is the goal on stream effect. The cleanup is effectively a very simple, pretty much empty HTML file with a couple of CSS classes in it. And the reason we have this is we're going to start by cleaning up the goal if there is one. So if you restart Firebot for whatever reason, we want to make sure that we clean it up. And then when we have what we want, this is the actual HTML effect with some sample styling here that you can play with. I tried to include quite a few different pieces here, so that way you can, if you're not familiar with CSS or with HTML, have a kind of a rough idea of what it is you're looking at. And we have our goal text, and our goal title. We then have our total subs. You'll notice we're using the new shorthand version of our custom variables, the $, and then we have a slash, and then goal amount. And we're formatting this using Arial Black at a size 40 pixel font. The way that we actually get this to hide and go away is using this custom CSS removal selector. we're basically using this throwaway class as our way to keep the other things we want there. So we have this empty class here that we're using as our throwaway. And you'll notice in the cleanup, we are still creating that throwaway, but we're throwing away the goal class instead. With that said, that is effectively the preset effect list here. So let's take a look at this and let's see what it looks like. So if I hit start here, we'll see that, okay, yeah, no, it says 0 of 10. We have our sub goal. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start by updating this sub goal when we have a new sub. So we have our sub event here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new effect. And this is going to be called a custom variable. Because what we need to do here is we need to take this total subs custom variable and we're going to do some math on it. So we're going to take the current number of total subs, we're going to add 1 to it, and we're going to do some simple math here. So every time we get a new sub, that number will go up. We're just going to add our labels here just so we are good stewards of how this should look. And then at the very end here, we're also going to run a preset effect list. And we're going to run that sub goal list to update our on-screen effects. So we will hit add, and we're going to call this sub goal. All right, so we're going to test this effect here by hitting the play button. And what we should see is that number increments +1, and we see our subscribed event play on the screen. If we press it again, we'll see that it will increment again out of 2. And there we go. So that's how we've added our sub goal with our counter. And you'll notice that this will just stay on the screen. Now we also created a command here called sub goal. And what this does is it's looking for either you, the streamer, or moderators. Just exclamation sub goal is the default here. And I have some conditional effects here. So the first thing is I want to make sure that the argument passed, A, they should be passing in an argument, and B, that argument is greater than 0. You don't want a sub goal of 0, otherwise it'll look kind of goofy. So you can change this if you want, but that's sort of how I started out here. Now, if this works and we update the sub goal, we're going to have a chat message that prints out what the current goal is and what it's going to be set to. And then we have our custom variable here where we actually go in, update that goal number. And then we want to run that effect list here where we say that sub goal should be refreshed on the screen. So every time we run that effect list, it's effectively resetting the on-screen sub goal. So we'll go back to our dashboard here and let's run that sub goal command. So sub goal, and we're going to set it to 50 here. So you'll see that the new goal is 50. It's still aligned to the center here. We haven't lost the number of subs we've gotten. We're still at 2. And that's a really quick overview of how this works. Now, if you want to make changes, again, you're free to do that. If we go to our preset effect list here and update the sub goal, really what you're changing here is this show HTML effect. So if you want a different image, if you want to put a video instead, you're free to do that and have it loop. If you want to change the text, you can go ahead and change this. So let's say we don't want to do a dash, we want to do, or slash, we want to do a dash. Cool. We can hit that, hit save, and all we need to do here, a really quick way to do this is just update the sub goal. So let's update it to 60. And now you'll see that we have 2 out of 60 if you would prefer a slash or a dash to a slash. So this is how you can use these really neat, more advanced features to create persistent elements within Firebot. Now I use this for other things. I don't personally use a sub goal on my stream, but I do have chat games that do something like this. So for example, I do have this battle game that does the same thing. So we have persistent elements here on the screen, such as my profile picture, and eBig's profile picture. And this is a type of game that you can use by effectively using that same CSS remover feature in Firebot. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that this explained a way to make a sub goal persistent in Firebot. And I'm excited to see what you guys do in terms of creating really neat, persistent on-screen effects. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or need any help, either ask your questions down below in the comments, or you can head over to the Crowbar Tools Discord and ask for help there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Peace out, stay classy, and I will see you guys in my next Firebot video. Bye!